Hey guys, welcome back. Let's look at some job growth statistics or lack of there. So let's go over this really quickly. Job growth nearly stopped in New York City. Now, I know you're going to be like, it's only New York City. Who cares, right? What about all the other states that probably is hiring? Well, sorry to break it to you, but if New York City is having a hard time hiring people, I'm pretty sure there's going to be a lot of other companies in other states will have that same issue. And we're not just talking about tech, we're not talking about cyber specific, we're talking about across the board. Uh, Jobs in general are a all-time low to no growth. And let's read this out loud. Hiring in New York City slowed significantly in the first 6 months of 2025. Just 956 private sector jobs were added, marking the city's slowest non-recession, non-pandemic payroll growth in decades, according to New York Times. Last year, during the same period, business in New York City added 66,000 workers. Since then, companies have hit brakes on hiring, and the city's top industries, including finance, have reduced their headcount. Other U.S. metros, such as Los Angeles and San Francisco, have also experienced sluggish job growth. And of course, there's a lot of LinkedIn posts here. Contributing to some of this would be the impact of uncertainty between when the tariffs were put in place by the president and, a cost of living, inflations went up, and a lot of uncertainties around technology based around the fact that AI has been in the news and taking over, beginner entry level jobs that organizations do not need to fill. So, in order to figure all that out, a lot of people will just sit on the sideline waiting to see what's going on. But while that is happening, no growth, no revenue, less profit. But meanwhile, CEOs are obviously still getting their million, if not $1 billion of bonuses at the end of the year, while everyone else is being let go. And of course, now because people have been getting let go who have years of experience, are facing against people who are just graduating from college or, coming out as entry level and looking for, beginner level jobs. And that's not there anymore because everything's at a freeze. And if the job growth is not growing, then we have problems within itself. So where are all these jobs going to? How's it working out? Some of you may come back and say, well, they're being offshored. It's true to some extent. Some of those jobs are being offshored, which is it's part of the reality, and also the fact that companies are hiring less. And because they're hiring less, the one salary that they can pay a US worker can probably hire 2 to 3 individuals overseas and still get the job done. Whether it's of quality, whether if there's a language barrier, whether there's privacy issues, that's probably either accepted risk or risk that they're willing to take, and there is your problem. So what does this mean for everyone, not just in New York City, but across the job market, across the United States, across the whole, North America job market? And each state that goes by so far, we're seeing a trend of more and more people who are being let go, more and more people trying to get into certain roles and willing to take a hit salary-wise. And that's where the industries are coming in, lowballing, and you can't even negotiate. I have read and heard stories where people even wanted to negotiate, and they would automatically omit it from the position, just the fact that you were trying to open up a discussion to discuss salary, which really sucks. So this is an interesting post that was discussing how the job market is, just the reality of it right now, and where are your chances of becoming someone or something in any industry, right? We're not just talking about cyber now, we're talking about across the board, because the less people that are working in organizations, the less people that they would have needed for IT/cybersecurity. Now, remember, IT and cybersecurity, which normally would be combined of the two because cyber is part of IT. Usually it reports to the CIO, and the CIO is all of IT. There is a high expense for these individuals because they don't generate revenue. Now, you can argue the point and say, well, they are people who are protecting you. If they don't protect you, you lose a lot more money if something was to happen. True. That's like paying insurance. But for the most part, what you don't see is what you don't value. And if you don't see me protecting you, or you don't sense that I'm protecting you, you will feel this thing where it's like you're not really doing anything for me, right? You just sit there and the tools are running itself and I'm being protected. So why do I need you again? Or why do I need your team? Or why do I need such a big team? And that's where the reduction starts coming in, unless something really dramatic happens, and or they are required by some type of audits or state or federal agencies that it's a mandate or requirement that they have certain amount of individuals or people in certain positions to fill these gaps. And then are they willing to spend that kind of money? So I had an interesting conversation yesterday, and I'm just scrolling through here. I'm not reading all this. I'm just giving you my opinion. You can speak to an operational person that keeps the business running. They care less about your, if they were hit with ransomware, they can care less about your containment, your evidence gathering, and all that. All they care about is making sure that they are back in business, functioning, and generating revenue. Everything else is behind them. So you're saying, how do they manage if they do get ransomware? Well, they would shut everything down, isolate everything, and then rebuild a new system to, make sure the operation is running again. And then you would say, well, what if it was already infected in the image that they have? They'll learn that lesson the hard way if that is the truth, if that is the fact. And that's where cybersecurity professionals have to come in and make sure that doesn't happen. But they won't see the value of that till it happens, right? Unless they experience that, that's the only time you would start experiencing and saying, okay, I need someone that makes sure that these images are clean, that we have to test them periodically. And these are things that operational folks don't do because they're just busy with what they have to do, which is the operational side, not the worry about, if it's infected with malware, does it have, is it the same hash as the other original, all that stuff, right? Is it encrypted? Do we have DLP? All these terminologies that we throw at them, they just sit there, they stare at you like a deer and, staring at headlights and like, what are you talking about? Like, I just need to make sure this is working. So wanted to share that with you. Market is down. Anyone else says anything otherwise and saying, well, you need to just take this certification and you land this job, yeah, that's still possible. But you make sure that, whatever certification you're taking doesn't guarantee you anything. I know I've said that many, many times over, but it's just that the market is horrible right now. And you're competing against guys who have years of experience. And if you're watching this for the first time and you're wondering, what the hell can I do? There's nothing you can do right now but just study and keep on track. And if something opens up, you may get lucky and get an interview and land this job. But in the meantime, it's very, very saturated and very competitive. So that is where we are today. And I just wanted to share that with you guys. I'm fortunate. There's plenty of other people who are still working and they're fortunate. Are they willing to jump around at this point? There's probably not much of an opportunity to jump. And they don't jump, you may not have an opportunity to join. You see what I'm saying? Like, one doesn't happen, the other doesn't happen. Like, it has to be a combination of both. But as people retire, there's a possibility that they would backfill all that, right? With someone who's a little bit more experienced, and then the trickle effect. But here's another problem. The retirement people are reluctant to retire because they don't feel like their retirement funds are sufficient if they retired. Ooh, that is bad. That is bad. Where has the world gone today? So I will dig a lot deeper. I will try to figure out what is the solution, if there is a solution. But in the meantime, Yes, there's plenty, and everyone is talking about the job growth is dying to slowing or slowing to dying. And, what comes around always, history repeats itself in a cycle, a weird cycle, to be honest, but hopefully it will. People start overseeing this whole AI stuff and start rehiring for different roles and different things as they start experiencing and making it where they know they need this stuff, right? They need to secure as far as cybersecurity, as IT and other departments, other portions of it. So I just wanted to share that. Depressing news, yes. Reality, yes. Uh, is it any more glorified? Is it fake news? Probably not. If you you are going to hear that jobs are still there, yes, but the percentage is very low, and that's obviously how it's being played out right now. So just want to say that before I go, and I thank you guys for being here like always, and I'll catch you guys again really soon. Take care.